What's going on, guys and gals? My name is Shadox, and this video is just going to be an overview of my thoughts and reactions to the Battlefield 5 multiplayer. A huge thank you to EA for flying me out with the Game Changer program to get hands-on with the new multiplayer. We were able to play grand operations on the map of Narvik, and in the background is just some of the footage that I was able to record. I do want to hear your feedback and thoughts in the comments below. Is there anything that you guys have seen or heard so far that you like or are concerned about? First up is the guns. In my opinion, the gunplay was fantastic. I really felt that each weapon filled a role and did it well. The STG-44 was a great example for those engagements between 10 and 30 meters, and I really found that 2 to 3 round bursts were ideal. SMGs were a beast up close, and a really good example of a weapon filling a niche is the MG34. The changes to machine guns meant that you were not able to ADS with the weapon while standing. You need to use the bipod, whether that be on a bit of cover or by going prone. This limits the playstyle of the weapon, and I really found out quickly that the MG34 was not ideal for the attacking role. You always want to be on the move, and stopping your push to bipod up is not something you want to get into the habit of doing, because you're going to get sniped pretty damn quickly. On defense, it was fantastic though, as I was already stationary and able to defend my lines of sight very effectively. Speaking of lines of sight, the map design was absolutely fantastic. It felt more in line with older Battlefield titles, and there was a clear direction of flow. Each side of the map had their own lanes for movement, and it really changed up the dynamic on the map. Personally, I enjoy playing these more linear maps as opposed to the circular maps like Pristi Tahur in Battlefield 1. I just hate playing Ring Around the Rosie with the objectives. Positioning and cover were also more vital to moving through the map, and are going to be the key defining factors on how you play in Battlefield 5. More often than not, whether or not I won a firefight was dictated on my position relative to the enemy, and with the new spotting changes, staying near cover will be vital to your survival, because if you feel exposed or spotted, if you duck behind cover, any spotting icons on you disappear. Player movement did take a bit of time to get the hang of. I felt faster in close quarters but slower in open areas, and I really didn't notice any AD spam, which is really nice. All of the movements, while taking a bit of skill to use effectively, really didn't feel that they were abusable, which is a huge plus in my opinion. Yeah, you can slide and dive and all that good stuff, but since everything is momentum based, you can't slide all the way across a field, for instance. Another topic of concern for me going into the multiplayer was the balance between vehicles and infantry. Battlefield 1 and 4 both made competent vehicle players extremely difficult to kill, and a good airplane could just wipe the entire map. I really didn't get that feel with Battlefield 5, and there were always ways to get away from an approaching vehicle by getting to cover and flanking around. I actually never got killed by an enemy airplane on either team, so for the time being, vehicles are capable, but not overly so. Another huge concern for me was the explosives. We do know that World War II had quite a bit more explosives, and bigger ones, so I was worried that we would see the return of grenades being responsible for half my deaths. In Battlefield 5, it just didn't really happen. I felt that they were more of a tool to use and not a way to get an easy kill. The animations also took a bit longer, so you shouldn't see someone vomit out a grenade right as you kill them. I think the new scarcity mechanics also helped with that regards, and from what I could tell, the splash damage radius for most explosives has been reduced a lot. One of the things I did have a few issues with were the lighting and particle effects for the weather. Even in moderate snow, it was extremely distracting. Maybe DICE is wanting to make weather actually impact how you play, but that many particles makes the readability of the UI elements and friendlier enemy icons really difficult. Speaking of UI, I do like the minimalistic design, but I do feel that it could use some tweaks. A lot of times when I was getting kills, there were like 3 or 4 things underneath the skulls giving me points, but for the most part, I didn't know what they were because they were either hard to read or understand when I was moving. I do think that the introduction of a compass at the top of the screen would be a great addition to the game, since 3D spotting has been nerfed so heavily. Chris from Battle Nonsense put out a video earlier covering how he thinks a compass could be implemented well. I'll leave a link to his video in the description below. Overall though, I really did enjoy the game. I'm actually having some withdrawal symptoms since it's been a couple days, and I just want to play more Battlefield 5, and I really just cannot wait to get my hands on it again. I do want to hear your guys' feedback and concerns or thoughts on any of my footage or footage from any other gameplay that you guys have seen. I want to get a discussion going and really start talking about the direction that Battlefield 5 is going. I do have another video covering the 4 most important things you need to know when you first get your hands on Battlefield 5 so that you can get the upper hand. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out and subscribe for more Battlefield 5 gameplay, news, and more. My name is Shadox Films, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.
you.